Good morning. It is 6:21 a.m. on Friday, August 2nd, 2019. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, I donked up last night, sort of. Well, in the sense that as far as sleep patterns are concerned, I I was feeling tired because I'd been staying up a little bit too late this week, and so because I knew that my D&D game last night might have me up a little later than, ideal bedtime, I decided to take a nap. And so as a result of taking a nap, which was good, it made it very hard for me to go to sleep, which was less good. And so basically any benefit I got at all from taking a nap was completely eaten up by having difficulty getting back to sleep when it was time to actually go to sleep. So, yeah, it's funny how all that works, but, and I mean, it's not a big deal in the scheme of things. It's just a matter of, they always say, they always say that as you are trying to get more sleep, one of the important things is trying to have routines where you go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time every time. And, that's like one of the things. But, and then obviously there are such things as, sleeping pills and that sort of thing. But, and I'm certainly not going to tell anyone else they shouldn't use things like that. But I find that I react more strongly to those than is useful. So, like, if I were going to take, say, Tylenol PM or Benadryl or what, the equivalent of, or something like that, I would, if I were to take it when I'm already having trouble getting to sleep, it's too late because I will, by the time it's time for me to wake up, I will still be in the throes of its effects. And that doesn't help me very much. Meanwhile, if I try to take it earlier than that, I'm not having trouble sleeping yet. So usually I don't have trouble sleeping. I just go to bed just fine. Anyway, so I did play Dungeons and Dragons last night. This is a game that I'm playing and not running, and it's not streamed, although there is, I believe, an audio podcast podcast feed that you could listen to it if you wanted. It's just kind of the raw audio coming out. I don't actually think I have the link off the top of my head, but I could probably dig that up if anyone was curious. But I have a fun character in that I'm enjoying. But the reason I bring it up today is because one of our party members was killed in the combat last night. And, I guess spoiler alert if you're one of the very small number of people listening to that. But it was interesting just because it happened very quickly. It was a combat that didn't seem especially dangerous necessarily. Otherwise, we had been in combats that I would have said, objectively seemed more dangerous. I felt like we had it relatively under control, but then the main enemy just got in a critical hit on the cleric, which took them all the way down to unconscious. And then that particular enemy type had a feature where if you are brought to unconscious and by that attack and fail a Constitution saving throw, you instantly die. And so even though one of our other party members could have saved her if they were just unconscious, because of the nature of this specific attack and the fact that it took basically like 80, she'd taken one small hit up to that point, but so the one crit basically took her all the way from like 80% health down to instantly dead. in one attack. And so there's really nothing any of the other characters could have done. It was definitely shocking. And, fortunately we were able to, not, lose the body. And we did actually, defeat the rest of the encounter in the next round, because like I said, I mean, it had seemed like it was under control, but it definitely was, one of those shocking things. And the party definitely had to make some big decisions, because it was our cleric that went down, and none of the rest of us have the capability to bring her back. And so it means that instead of the whole explanation, the whole continuing exploration that we were, planning to do, we had to, basically have the ship pull up anchor and head back to the capital city to see if we can find a cleric who can bring her back, and we will. And it's definitely a derailing. No, I shouldn't say derailing. It's not a derailing of the campaign by any stretch, because obviously we're playing a game, and this is it's a big plot turn. It's a derailing of the specific activities that the characters were up to in the campaign, but that's not necessary. That's not like a bad thing in a meta sense at all. It's very interesting from a dramatic standpoint. And there's all sorts of all sorts of things that make for a good drama. Like, one of the party members had decided to stay behind and not explore this particular cave, mostly out of some kind of petty inter-party drama reasons, which were all fine until one of the characters was killed. And so now that character gets to have guilt because it's like, well, who knows what would have happened if they had been there instead. I don't know. But yeah, so it's all pretty exciting stuff. The drama inherent in these games, the unpredictability, because sometimes it really just does come down to the dice, and adds that degree of randomness that's part of what, the combination of everybody's imaginations and then just that extra little randomness in there makes those games so exciting. Anyway, I will. The last thing I wanted to say before I finish today is that Chris Mooney, who's someone I've known through the podcasting sphere for a long time, is doing the audio drama stream, which I believe is. Let's see, what's the link for this? I posted it on Facebook last night. http://radio.ad-db.net is the audio drama stream, and apparently they're going to be playing Space Casey seasons 1 and 2 back to back today. So if you're interested in checking that out, you can check that out. Of course, it is also just available still in the podcast feed, but it's also streaming on the audio drama stream today, so you can check that out. Let's see. Kaylin Thompson in the chat says, I have a D&D character that made demigod status strictly by the luck of the dice. Well, that's the thing is, sometimes you get to be a demigod, and then sometimes you are instantly killed by a critical hit. Thumbs the brakes. In the meantime, I will go ahead and leave it here for today. Oh, Colin, I'm sorry. I've known that before, and I think I don't know. It's early. In any event, I will leave it here for today, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.